Hey there! This is going to be a quick lo-fi video. As of now, all my videos are lo-fi. Comparing the use of this TMP ToneMaster Pro, Fender ToneMaster Pro, either going into the FR10 or directly into a Fender ToneMaster Twin. I already had this Twin and I got this to check it out. I've been messing around with it for quite some time, and I've got quite a few thoughts on your options for amplifying your ToneMaster Pro. And there's quite a few options, quite a lot of things you can do, either going with this or with both of them. I recommend you watch this video all the way through because there's a lot of information I'm going to go over, a lot of examples. And then I'm also going to have another video or two specifically going over how I set this up. And I'm going to do another video where I compare the tones of various amps between the two methods, going direct into a ToneMaster and going in using a cab sim on the FR10. So anyway, let's get started. I'm going to go over how I set this up. With the FR10, you can go straight into it from the ToneMaster Pro using a cab sim, and that's the traditional way to use it. I tend to mix in a little bit of a second path with a non-cab simmed version of the same amp. And the reason I do that is because it gives a little bit more of an amp in the room feel. These two handle it slightly different ways as far as that non-cab simmed signal. This handles it the best, obviously, because it's a guitar amplifier with guitar speakers. And you would think it would sound terrible in the FR10, but actually it gives it a little extra something. So I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to get to my mixer on my preset here. I'm going to show you real quick what the FR10 sounds like just with the cab sim. And for the purpose of this video, I'm using the Vox Brilliant, and the cab that I'm using is the Vox cab with the greenbacks in it. And the mic, I'll just go over the cab stuff. It's the 2x12 UK30 greenback using the ribbon microphone, and I've got it on access. The high cut and the low cut are just at the defaults, the 20 and the 20,000, and I've got the mic placed at the cone at 2 inches. So pretty standard there. So I'm going to first demonstrate what this sounds like with just the cab sim signal. Here it is. Okay. Now if I mix in a little bit of just the amp signal, no cab simulation, I feel that it kind of brings the sound more forward a little bit. So I'm gonna mix it into 65 on the rotary dial. Back to just cab sim. A little bit of the non-sim signal in there. So as you can see, it does change the tone, and it kind of changes it from like you're listening to someone playing in another room to, oh, it's kind of coming into this room and it's in the room with you a little bit. So for those of you that want that more of that amp in the room sound that people say you can't really get with a modeler with an FR, that's a technique you could mess around with. Now on the flip side, I'm going to shut off the signal to this, turn on the signal to my twin. By the way, the settings on these, the twins, it's on the lowest attenuation setting. It's between 5 and 4 on the volume. It's pretty much 5s all the way across. The FR's got the cut at 9 o'clock. All the tones are at noon, and I'm looking like about 9 o'clock on the volume. So I just got the volumes about equal. So now we're playing out of the twin. Same amps, same cabs and everything. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set my, I'm just going to show you the dry signal by itself. So this is typically how you would use an amp. You just use the head-only version. Okay, so that's direct, and you're getting the sound of the cabinet that I have here, which is 2 12s in the twin cabinet. But let's say I want a little flavor of that Vox cabinet. I can mix that in, and you can get a little taste of it. So I'm going to mix in at about, I'm going to do the same level we had on the other one, about 65%. I'm bringing in the cab synth now. So you can hear it kind of gives it like a little more body. It does change the tone of this cabinet. So we'll A/B that real quick. Here it is, just the amp head. Here it is, bringing in the cabinet. Now I could bring it in 100%. Here it is at 100% cabinet and 100% direct. Okay, so one more time. Just the head and 100% cab mixed in. So if you're using like a twin ToneMaster and you're thinking to yourself, oh, all the amp synths are going to sound like the same cabinet I have, you can actually flavor them a little bit with mixing in the cab synth version. And the way I did that is I'm using a split path. I've got an amp head only on the bottom and the same amp with the cabinet at the top. For now I have the amp settings the same on both paths, but you can also make one clean, one dirty. There's some cool options that you can use there. So my opinions on this method are that when it comes to cab simulation only, the FR handles that a little bit. I mean, it's not a huge difference. It handles it a little bit better than going through the twin, because really the twin isn't meant to have a sim on a sim and all that. So it sounds ideal with this because that's how they designed it to be used with this. Whereas this handles the direct signal the best, but mixing the direct signal doesn't sound too bad on this, although it doesn't handle it as well as the twin does. If you give it 100% of the direct signal, sometimes it can kind of clip or just sound a little fizzy or whatever. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'll go 100% direct signal on the FR. So this is 100% direct. That is fizzing a little bit. That's why I never put it to 100% coming in. I'll give it like 60. It's still fizzing, it's the same sound, but it's just a little lower because I want the cab sim to be more prominent. vice versa, when you're dealing with the twin here, this is the cab sim 100%. Kind of thin compared to the same 100% cab sim on the FR. Okay, so this is cab sim on the FR. And then cab sim only on the twin. There's a difference there. You could EQ it and get it a lot closer. I'm not dealing with those nuances now, but on my split paths, I have an EQ after each amp for fine-tuning the details like that. That's another thing you can do, is you can really dial in your direct path and your cab sim path to sound just the way you want it. If you want your cab sim that you're mixing in to have a lot of low end, beefy low end, you can use the low cut and the high cut in the cab sim, but I find that, you know, using that 7-band equalizer they've got in the ToneMaster Pro really helps. You know, it helps. You can dial right in that low end, zip, put it up, put it down. Now let's do the inverse of that test that we just did. We're going to go 100% direct signal into here, which we heard before. It's a little fizzy. Oh, excuse me. That's the twin. That's the twin 100% direct. I was like, where's the fizz? That's 100% direct into the twin. Now we'll do 100% direct into the FR. You can hear it's a little harsher, so it's not as soft around the edges. That's what guitar speakers will do for you. That's like the brutal truth, the brutal FR high fidelity truth of that signal. Whereas this is giving you the effect of a guitar amp on that signal. Okay, so that's an important thing. But what I've found, and I've set up this cool preset, is that pushing and pulling those levels can really get you to some cool tones. So I'll show you what I've got on this preset here. I've got my foot switch mode. You can see I've got a red, I don't know if you can see that, red and an orange. Up here is the cab sim level, and down here is the direct level. Now I'm just going to put them both to red. That means they're both at 100% right there. And right now I am going into the FR. So if I'm 100 and 100, both the same. But then if I want to really quickly take the direct signal down to 75, click that. Now I'm a little bit more cab sim. Really cool. You can switch it on the fly. Later, if they do an update where you can turn the rotator there, you could even just do it to, you know, manually, really tweak it in. So now I'm going to flip it, and we're going to be listening to the twin. And I'm going to set this back to 100% on both. So this is half cab sim, half direct signal. Typically, I think that's a little too much cab sim. So I'll take the cab sim down to 75%, where we're hearing a little bit more direct. So anyway, in hindsight, in conclusion, I mean, it's not that different between the two. They are different, but you can get a similar tone either way. And you know what's nice about the twin is you got your tone stack there, you've got your convolution reverb built in, you got your tremolo built in. It even sounds a little bit different if you go in the normal channel and get a slightly different EQ to it. But this guy, very cool. If you don't have anything to play out of, this is half the price of this. This is like 500 bucks, roughly, more or less. This is $1,000 more or less. I think maybe a little more. I'm not sure these days, but both viable options. If you already have a twin and you're thinking, do I need this? You don't have to have it. You can use your twin. But if you were thinking of going stereo and you were like, should I get another, you know, do I need to get 2 FRs? You could probably do 1 FR, and keep your twin going. I've tested that. It sounds great. But if you don't have anything to play a ToneMaster Pro through, you certainly don't need to go with this. You could just go with this. They're both hella loud. I've turned this up quite a ways, and I'm in a house, and my family told me I was shaking the house way on the other side of the house. This, I'm pretty much scared of turning it up 100%, or, you know, full attenuator all the way up and being at like 9 or something like that. I think my neighbors across the street in their garage would hear this amp, and I'm in my house. It's crazy loud. Like, if I was to even try to demo it for you, I'd have to go outside into the hallway, or you know, that's how loud it is. So you got plenty of volume on tap. Just options, you know, pretty cool options. So you can run a twin with an FR in stereo. If you already have a twin, you can run 2 FRs in stereo. You can run 1 FR in mono. You can run 1 twin in mono. If you don't have a twin and you have a deluxe or a super or even a Princeton ToneMaster, it's probably going to work too. But the only thing to consider is that those amps start to break up, you know, as you move up the dial. And this method that I use here, you want to keep the amp pretty clean, which is what the twin is really perfect for. I can get plenty of volume on this before it starts breaking up. But another thing that's cool is I really never heard this thing break up because I don't turn it to 10, but I can use the twin model in the ToneMaster Pro, turn it to 10, get that nice smooth crunch that a twin will get, and pump it out of this twin or this FR at any volume I want. So that's actually one of the presets I use, is a twin on 10, because it actually sounds really good. It's a kind of a different kind of crunch. It's smooth and light, subtle crunch. So anyway, yeah, there's your options, there's your sounds. I'm going to do 2 more videos. One where I'm going to show you how I set up my preset for doing this. And it's a very versatile preset because I've got EQ, 7-band EQ on both the direct signal, it's got its own EQ, and the cab sim signal, which has its own EQ. So if I feel I want a little more bottom end from the cab sim, you can do that. If there's too much high on the direct signal, I can pull that down. It's really, you can really tweak your own sounds between that and the mics and the cabinet types, and even your tone stack on the FR or the twin. There's a lot you can do with it. You can really dial it in perfect. And the other video will be just for reference, how the various Fender amps and such sound out of this versus out of this. I'm going to be doing that as well. So stay tuned, and don't think you can't do this, because you can. As you heard, it's not that different. They're all in the same ballpark. They all sound pretty good. Later.